I didn't get that hair. It is from my mustache.
You know how to make that so that doesn't happen?
Yeah, how? You know a trick?
You just shave off that fucking mustache.
I don't know that. You've been wanting to say that every episode. We haven't even started drinking yet today.
Oh, God.
That's gonna be your thing. I deem that unworthy. I'll try harder next time.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy. I'm Andy Vargo and this is my comedy bestie,
Cheri Hardman.
and we are here to talk about all things in life with our own special twist of scrutiny.
Having a good week, are you?
I am having an awesome week. It's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of good things going on, and it's really exciting just to have some things coming together, and it's a lot of work, but that's exciting work, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So, and how about you? How's your week going, Cheri?
I'm having a good week. I had a fun show last night. At the Laughing Elk show at McMenamins. It was really fun.
That is such a great room.
It really is. It's just beautiful. If nothing else, it's fun to go there just to be in that room. It has a really good vibe. So,
Well, and that's just like the perfect combination because Jackie and Rachel that put that room together are awesome. I mean,
and
we love-
Richie.
and Richie. Sorry, Richie. They're so cool, and to have them with such a nice venue, it's well deserved.
They're doing a good job with it. Yeah.
And they're very professional. You know, in comedy, a lot of times you run into people who aren't professional with, like, and not even like anything shady, just not pulling things together and just not having their act together. And these guys are top notch with it. And I love the fact that I loved your post yesterday about the ramp for the stage, that they made sure that you were taken care of.
Yeah. Now it's funny because when I saw the ramp, I was like, oh, that looks steep. I was really scared. And so I'm like, well, let me try it first. And I got about halfway up and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to have to, like, and I really just, but then when Dave wasn't freaking out about it, like, oh, I think you could do it. But like, he's the alarmist. And if he's fine with it, then like, I'm like, all right, I go, let me try it one more time. And it worked just fine. So perfect. It was really nice. Yeah, it was good. You know, because a lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk, you know. They're all about diversity, but yet they'll do their shows in an inaccessible room. So I like the fact that these guys made sure that I could get in there.
Well, and I've been in that building many times, and I knew that there's an elevator. I knew that there were good ramps to get in and out of the building.
It was tricky.
Yeah, I didn't know about the stage. So, and it is in that downtown space, so it's not
right. I mean, it's a historic building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we did have to go through the kitchen, you know, but I will say that the kitchen was very neat and tidy and appetizing looking, and I was like, oh, I'd eat here.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
So Cheri, we've got an awesome show today. We're gonna play a game. We're gonna play Would You Rather in a little bit.
I'm looking right now for my schedule just because I wanted to say where I was going to be, and I don't remember the name of the place. That's why if I seem distracted, that's what I'm doing. Because I have a show next week that I would like to promote.
All right. I'm going to let you look for that. I'm going to tell the people what we're going to talk about today while you do a little research there about your life. So we are going to be playing Would You Rather. That's going to break up our show. And before and after that, we always do, we each bring a topic, and Cheri's going to talk about when to end a friendship, if I have that right. Is that right, Cheri? Like when to call it quits on some of your friends. And I
Mhm.
think that we've all probably spent a lot of time asking ourselves that, is it time, or why didn't I do this a long time ago? And then I was going to bring up, I got a little guy drama I want to share, and it's really about kind of, red flags, and tell a story about what happened last week, and really, it's a good kind of mental health check-in on the dating scene and what to accept into your life. So,
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Are we going to play the game first? How would you like to do this?
I
I'll
can
let
go
you call it.
first after you find your, I don't know, are you still researching there? Do you want me to?
Yeah, apparently I need to promote the show better. Okay, I had to. All right, I'm ready now.
All right, Cheri, what do you have coming up? You got any shows coming up you want to share?
I do have something coming up. On December 17th, I will be at the Comedy Club Champions show. It's actually really a great little idea. So it's like they had me because I won Tacoma Comedy Club's. I like to say that I'm the champion, the 2019 and 2020 champion of Tacoma Comedy Club's The Comedy Voice, just because there was no contest on 2020. So
I like that.
yeah, and then Richie Armani, who is the current winner of that, and then Bo Blast, who is the winner of Nate's Super Funny Comedy Club, funniest motherfucker out there. So
Yeah.
the three of us will be doing a show.
That's gonna be a great show.
I think Tony Peters came up with a really good idea with that. And it's at, I can't see on here where it's at, but it's somewhere I've never been before.
Yes, and it's not it's a blue something, I thought, something blue.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, and I was like, that looks like a fun show.
Yeah, I can't pull it up because it shows me the ticket link and then it doesn't say where it is. So, but anyway, you can always find on CheriHardman.com. I always post the posters and the ticket links.
That's awesome.
And it's Amber Alerts going all over the place. Are you getting any?
My phone started buzzing as we were starting up the show, but I was nice and I didn't open it up because I was like, I'm trying to be better about that. So
mine went off and then Noah's went off over there. So it's like,
yeah, I saw some texts were coming in and I didn't open them, but yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then you leave town right after that.
The next morning, yeah, like my flight leaves at like 6:50 a.m.
Oh my God.
So I got to be at the airport at like 4:50 a.m. So, but the nice thing is the tickets that I got in Vegas, it's Bruno Mars tickets with hotel tickets, with the hotel room. But the hotel room, they say it will be assigned to you when you check in. Okay. So you don't, you can't ask for any certain kind of room. You just get what you get when you get there.
Were you able to specify accessibility though?
No. So I'm glad that I'm getting there first thing in the morning so that I can tell them what I need before all the rooms sell out. Yeah. I'm hoping. If not, we can just go to a different hotel. So it'll be fine.
I'm sure that they'll do whatever they can to make it accommodating.
Otherwise, Carol and I may be snuggling. I don't know.
I know. I so wanted to surprise you on that trip and just show up and snuggle with you guys.
Well, it'd be so fun.
One next time.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah.
So I don't have any public shows coming up, but I have 3 pretty big private gigs coming up in January that I have to do all of the preparation now because it's 3 separate organizations and each is a different, they're all motivational speaking, they're not comedy. And each one is a different topic. So one is about managing and mastering change. The next one is about leadership and kind of your leadership style and leadership personalities and being a dynamic leader and where to foster leadership within our organizations. And then the third one is really all about reframing and resilience, particularly around kind of coming back out of the things we've gone through in the last year with COVID, because this organization has people who've kind of been in the heart of it. So I'm really looking forward to all 3 of those. They're within 10 days, so I have to get all of that prep work done.
Yeah. You got some prep to do.
Yeah, so people keep asking me, when's your next comedy show? When's your next comedy show? I was like, I'll be on a show if someone asks me. I'll figure out the date, but I'm not actively going out there going, get me on your show, because I've got plenty on the plate. And
right.
And comedy's fun. I love it, but I'm just really excited about this because it's just this is the first time I've had 3 speaking gigs in the same month. I'm just stoked about that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I will continue to have that regularly. It might be a while before that happens again, so I'm going to enjoy it. But I would love if it does keep happening. So
Right.
So that's what's going on.
That is cool. I'll just tell you what I watched this afternoon and how that has to do with what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And then we'll play our game and then you can tell about how's that.
That
Or do you
works.
want to do it the other way around?
Doesn't matter to me. You want to go into your topic right now?
I don't care. But
It's on your mind.
I'm actually dying to talk about it because I just watched it.
I really want to.
And I can't, I don't, it's like you don't want to spoiler alert this.
Right. Okay.
So I have to be really careful. But let's just say, the show is called And Just Like That, I think.
Okay.
So it's not called Sex in the City 4 or, anything like that. It's called And Just Like That, I think.
Is it actually Sex in the City people or something?
Yes. So it's the follow-up. So, we had Sex in the City, the series.
Yes.
Then we had the 2 movies.
Yeah.
The first one was good. The second one was trash. Some people say they were both trash. Whatever. And now this is them picking up at this stage in their life. They're 50-ish, 55-year-old women now.
Right.
And it's kind of more about what life is like at this stage of life.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
how your friendships have changed. Like Samantha is not on the show anymore.
Oh, really?
That's because Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker don't. Let's just say Kim Cattrall doesn't like Sarah Jessica Parker, and finally
things that affects the script got.
So so Samantha is mentioned.
Yeah, you can't just not. You can't take a show like that and just not
Right.
refer
So,
to it.
but then that also kind of comes into my topic because it's like when a long-standing friendship like that ends. They didn't kill her off. It was just how it has morphed into something different and how sometimes you have to let an old friendship go.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that I watched the first 2 episodes are up now on HBO and wherever else. And I bawled like a baby through both of them, just like. Now, I got to say, I'm a huge Sex and the City fan. Like when it was on, it was when I was with my ex. When it was on Sunday night on HBO, and we sat and watched it every week. And when it was over, like I literally mourned because they were my girlfriends that I spent every Sunday night with, and then they were gone.
And this is like, not to date you, but this is back when you had to wait a week to watch the next episode of a show.
Yeah. And so to watch it, like to me, it's such a relief to see him back. But I gotta say, there's a whole, and I'm going through this in my life anyway, there's a whole feeling of, how do I say this? When you're getting our age, we're getting to the end of our life. Things are gonna end.
Yeah, things are
and so there's this whole melancholy, not only for the series and what's going on in the series, but just for my own life right now.
Yeah.
Not like I'm going to die right now, but just, I know people have people passing in their life. So there's just like, whew, like it would, Well, in my life, I've had an old friend resurface recently. And another old friend go through some horrible trauma. And because, the change, because our friendship has changed, like I still feel very connected to this person. But in the past, I would have been the one that was there sitting at his side.
Yeah.
And now it's like I sent a text and it was unanswered. And of course, if you're going through trauma, I'm never going to say, you didn't answer my text. Well, but there's still that feeling like I feel like I should be the person that's there, but I've lost that place in their life.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they love me any less. But so my friendships are kind of morphing right now. And I've got some new friendships that I sometimes wonder how in the hell did I get into this friendship in the first place?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, it happens. You know, you're doing the same things as some people and you spend a lot of time with them, and then you become friends, whether you meant to or not, you know.
Right. Well, and
Go ahead. Yeah.
no, there's so much there, right? Because you have relationships changing, you have people's lives changing, you have even people passing on, and there's, but it's all centered around, these feelings of loss and grief, and not always understanding the change or why we have to have the change. And I've heard people talk about, like, one of the things that's so hard with relationship change is, whether it's a friend or a significant other, it's that you have this mourning of the person not being in your life, but they're still out there somewhere. And so there's this, like, our mind can't comprehend, well, why can't they be with me, or why can't we have this, why aren't we the same, when I know they're out there in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not like they're just, gone, and I have to come to terms with that. It's like, oh, there's this possibility that we could still reconnect. And with relationship breakups, that's hard, because you really do need to have that hard, no, we're not going to keep doing this dance. That's where all the drama comes in.
So that's
So,
why you should kill all your exes. Is that what you're saying?
well, kill the communication at least.
Yeah.
But with friends, it's difficult, because you could catch up with one of these friends, like your friend that's going through a hard time, and you might end up having a phone call or a day where you do text back and forth for a little bit, and it's just like old times, and then you go right back into that space of, we're back where we were. And so you kind of have to reprocess each time, that it's like you continually hit, it's almost a rejection. It's not meant to be a rejection, but it's a rejection of that isn't the same.
Well, yeah, sometimes your life is just in a place that they don't fit in right then, and
Yeah.
vice versa. And then
Right.
now I have other friends, like, my friend Tracy.
Mhm.
We've been friends since Andrew was 4 and he's 37 now. Okay. So, but, we've lived in other states, where we didn't, like, we've lived right next door to each other. We've lived in opposite states where we didn't say, but whenever I'm with Tracy, we pick up exactly where we left off. There's never any awkwardness or discomfort or anything else. I'm like, we might have to catch each other up on what's been going on,
Right.
but it's always, our friendship is always, I don't want to say the same, but it's kind of always the same.
Yeah,
Like, our level of friendship is always the same.
yeah, those are solid friendships, and it's rare to have very many of those, but when you have someone like that, it's so great. And I have a couple friends like that, where I might not talk to them for 6 months, and then we'll grab lunch, and it's the same kind of thing. We're talking just like we still work together, or like we're still seeing each other every day. And it's no hard feelings of like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't know this about you or that. It's exciting to hear the stuff that you're catching up on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think the trickiest ones are when the friendship is really based around a certain style of your life, and then those dynamics change, and so it's like, oh, you're catching me up on all the people that in the office, but I don't work in the office anymore, and half the people aren't the same people.
Right.
Realize that connection isn't as strong anymore.
Or like if you had a friend that you just went whoring around with all the time, and now you're married.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, that's what,
different.
yeah, if you have friends that were from a different lifestyle, like, I think about people that I would have been friends with when my kids were little, and the kids are playing on the playground, and you're having conversations and taking the kids to the zoo and stuff. Or, while we're going to school, we have a friendship, and some of those prove the test of time, because that was the base of the friendship, and then you both evolved together, but that stays. And sometimes you find that the friendship was really too based around whatever the commonality was.
Whatever you're right, whatever the activity or the, yeah. Well, it's like if someone were to be like always having little kids around their house because these are their grandkids or great grandkids, and that's not something that I'm enjoying currently. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to hang out with anyone that has grandkids. That's not it. But it's just like we just are in different places at the same time.
And you're going to be doing different activities. You're going to be bringing different conversations to the table. And, if you show up with a Sex and the City kind of lifestyle, and they're, I have friends who almost like to hear some of my stories because it's entertaining for them, because it's not a life that they're living in.
Right.
So that's fun for them, but it isn't like, but it's like, okay, well, we'll have those when we get together for game night, we'll have fun conversations, but then they're not in that life with me when I'm out, going out, hanging out, or going to comedy shows all the time. Or
Right. Right. So I was reading an article about, because sometimes it's like I've had some friendships where I knew it was time to let the friendship go, or I wondered if it was time to let the friendship go.
yeah.
And so I read an article about 7 signs that it's time to break up your friendship.
Ah,
Okay. So one question that you can ask is, can you be yourself?
wow, that's a good one.
Right? If you can't be yourself, what's the point?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of,
That I mean, like that one right there, that is just so telling.
well, that could be all 7 of them, really.
But yeah, it sums them all up. But sometimes you need more questions to kind of help you realize that you're not able to be yourself.
I guess that's why it was number 7. I should have started with number 1. Does it feel genuine or like a transaction?
Okay.
Like some people are friends with you because of what you can do for them or what they can do for
I
you.
definitely know. Yeah.
And we all have those. In fact, recently I had an old friend show up at a show, and I was excited thinking she was there to see me, and they left me with their check. So I really felt that wasn't a genuine,
Yeah. Kind of feel
that was transactional.
yeah.
Oh. Okay, number 2, are you holding each other back from getting healthy? So that's maybe like if you've got, they say if you've got a person that is in your circle that drinks a lot, you are going to be more likely to drink a lot.
Mhm.
Like if we all drink until we black out, then that makes it normal, right?
Well, and even, and this might even come into one of the later questions, but I know a lot of people who I've been around in the past where I've had to keep myself in check because I know we can go down, and we've done this with each other too, where it's like we have to keep each other mentally healthy, where we don't go down this pity party rabbit hole of like
Right.
self-pity or self-loathing, or just like you need someone who can also keep you mentally healthy too.
Right. Right. And then yeah, so it's anything like that. Or like if you're trying to lose weight, it's better probably at that point in your life to hang out with your exercising friend rather than your
Right.
eating friend.
Mm-hmm.
Are you being manipulated? Of course, if you ever feel like someone's manipulating you in any situation, it's time to call it quits as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, definitely.
Are you friends simply because they're similar to you? I mean, if they are, that's okay. But if that's the only thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like if that's the only reason, then
I mean, I don't think you really have to cut them off, but just realize I have friends that I know, if we weren't working at the same place, we're not going to talk to each other anymore after this as much as we try to pretend. Do you do all the work in the relationship?
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I have found that I used to kind of feel like I was that guy, and to me it came down to self-respect, because I didn't have a lot of self-respect to just say, you know what, if they want to hang out with me, they'll call me. And I had started to notice that with certain friends, I was always initiating the conversation or the texting and saying, oh, it's been a while. And I started doing a thing where if I had initiated it, I call it my 3 strikes you're out rule.
Uh-huh.
Where if I initiate the conversation once, and then we have the conversation, it ends and whatever, and then the next time I initiate it again, then I just stopped initiating, and I would wait and see how long it takes for someone to actually start a conversation. And sometimes it's a couple of days and like, oh, hey, what's up? And sometimes it's months. And
Right.
it's because a lot of times that person comes back and says, hey, I haven't heard from you for a while. And I'm just like, yeah.
Haven't heard from you either, sucker.
Right. But that actually took a lot of unnecessary communication out of my life, and it made room for people who were reciprocal.
Right. There you go. Why waste the time? Yeah. I have a friend who cancels a lot, so when I make plans with this person, I oftentimes forget.
Mm-hmm.
because I don't even write it down because I know they're gonna, and then they'll like cancel, and I'm like, oh, that's good because I didn't even write it down. All right. Can you count on each other? That's what we were just doing, or was it?
It was reciprocal, but that kind of
It's kind of the same thing. Can you count on each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then last, can you be yourself? You can't be yourself around anyone. That's, like I have a lot of, like, at some point, both my parents have said something to me about how I've embarrassed them on social media with the stuff that I say. And so I've thought about tidying it up and not really, like, being a little more
little not being yourself.
But it's me not being myself, right? And so if you know me, I am myself. Wherever I am myself, I'm genuinely myself. And I might talk about poops or vaginas or whatever, because that's what I talk about. And oh well. And if you don't like it, you really don't have to listen to it or be my friend or whatever. So
it's interesting observation I had to make that I kind of really started to understand in the last like 6 months better than ever, was that when I started coaching and also doing comedy that's kind of irreverent, I've been balancing this line of like, I got to be professional, I got to keep this image up, but this fun, somewhat irreverent side of me comes out when I'm on stage and all that kind of stuff too. And I found that by just being myself and letting people know this is part of who I am, I'm not necessarily going to get on stage at a motivational speaking event and say anything crass because I'm professional. Right. However, that is a side of my entertaining life. And I found that I've had so much better, genuine conversations with my clients when I don't have to hold back on that, because we can talk about everything that's really affecting their life. And it can be, I'm trying to go out and party one weekend, and then, okay, well, I can say, yeah, I get it. I do that too. Now, how is that going to affect these goals we're working on? And we can have a really realistic conversation, because we're not just like, well, 9 to 5, you need to be right here and here. And,
right.
And I've really had to kind of be okay with knowing that they're getting a real person when I'm coaching them, and that's what they want.
Right. Well, if two people are both trying to act perfect for each other, how much genuine connection can really happen between those two people?
Yeah, exactly.
So
we'll touch on that in a minute when I get into my little story too.
Okay. So that's really all I had. That was my little article I wanted to share. I might, if you don't have HBO, you watched Sex and the City, didn't you? Or just a little bit? Did you really watch all of it?
I watched all of it. Yeah, it was good.
I might have to share my HBO password with you, because I need someone. So, and let me just put it out there. Anyone else that is watching this, please get at me, because I need to talk about it today. So, all right. You know what? I think maybe it's time.
It is time. While you're pulling that up, I'm going to check in just to make sure we don't have any comments hanging out. It looks like we're there. So I'm going to come back to the Zoom. Hello to everyone who's watching. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Cheri just wrapped up a great conversation about how to know when to cut off our friends, in case you're just joining us, or how to know when a friendship should just kind of run its course. And now we're going to play Would You Rather. Cheri's loading that. I know we have another topic for you afterwards, but I'm going to share a little bit of my drama from the week. Dating.
I know this is not what I wanted to share, but that's okay. I have to open a file.
All right, there's a file being opened.
Oh, wait, there's that.
And there's that. And there's more to come. And Cheri's going to click a little button here and look around.
All right. But the other thing that I really want to share.
Yes.
Is, I thought I had it all ready and was ready to go with it. Now I better not go through all this on screen. God only knows what might come up there. Now that I think about it.
You know what I tell people all the time? This was an accidental genius on my part with my brand being Own Your Awkward, but it has made it so that anytime I have something that gets a little bit awkward or doesn't quite go how I want, I'm like, oh, and you're awkward. We're doing it.
Okay, but let's see if I can, I don't know why this one, it doesn't want to. God.
Mm.
I just want to play this because I keep talking about it and it's like, I really.
Ooh, here it is.
All right. Gotta move stuff around.
For game show music. Thank you, Kirk Brassard.
Okay, so we're gonna play Would You Rather. Now I gotta go through all that again to turn the music off.
Oh, I can't hear it anymore. Are you still hearing it? I'll keep dancing then if it's supposed to be there. Because that's really, you know, smooth moves on my part. There we go.
Good Lord. All right, I still gotta figure that BS out. Now I gotta find my little screen to come back to.
Would you rather play Would You Rather
No,
or watch Cheri learn how to use her computer?
well, screw it. We're gonna play Would You Rather, so I'm gonna stop sharing.
All right.
All right, so that was a hot mess. We can edit that out so I don't look like such a. I have some that were sent by our lovely friends.
Yay. All
I
right.
don't know if you looked at those, but they're horrible.
I was on the road all day today, and so I didn't get back in to look, but I'm afraid. Okay.
Would you rather step on a Lego made from knives or chop off your foot with an axe?
Oh, I almost said a non-FCC word. Neither, but if I had to, I would go with the Lego because I'm a light walker. I don't pound.
Well, and you'd still have feet. They would just be sliced up.
Recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather have feathers or fur?
Ooh, I think fur.
Me too. First I thought feathers because then I thought, oh, then I could fly. But it's like, no, it didn't say wings. It just said feathers. So
Yeah, and fur is, it'll keep me warm, and I'm already kind of somewhat used to a little bit of, I got hair, so it's close to the idea.
I don't like the next one, so
Skipping the next
I'm
one.
going to skip the next one. Okay, this one came from Stephen Dombrowski, so you know it's weird. Would you rather have home construction that never ends in your home? Like once something is finished, they just start on another project in another room, day and night, constantly.
Oh,
If you move, the construction moves with you.
it's like the Winchester house.
Or constantly smell poop. Now the poop smell changes as soon as you get used to it in order to constantly be vomit inducing.
Okay, I would definitely rather have construction, and because I like new things, so there'd always be something new around. And then also I would just get some serious earplugs.
Well, I thought of that too, because I thought, you know me with my misophonia, all that noise, I would kill myself or somebody else. But then I thought, well, earplugs, but then we're not really playing the game, right? Are we? If we just have earplugs on, then
Well, even if I didn't have earplugs, I would still rather deal with the noise than
the poop smell. See, I think I might have to go poop smell on that.
Ooh,
Just
okay.
because I know, you should hear me like when Dave's just eating a bowl of ice cream. Like, are you almost done with that ice cream? Like, I'm just so mad. I can't help it. So
If you really want to see Cheri go viral, blow your nose at the table in a restaurant.
yeah, no.
Or like clear your throat and do the loogie thing in your throat.
Yeah, not my favorite. Okay, well, apparently I lost my article. That's okay, I can find it. Okay, so I have some more.
All right.
Those were from our weird friends. Now, this is from an article.
And if you are watching and want to play along at home, we would love to hear what your answers would be. So feel free to throw those in right in.
Right. Yeah, would you guys want the construction
Cheri's
Or
listening
would-
outside. She says hello. So hello, Cheri.
Hey, or would you want to smell poop?
So
I know, it's kind of weird. All right. Oh,
what's the next one?
I'm going for it.
Your own hair or
Yeah, there was a hair in my mouth, like a cat hair or something, not like a big hair. Would you rather? During all that time where I was messing with my screen and stuff, I apparently got rid of my would you rather questions. Okay.
she's thinking. She's thinking.
No, because the ones that I really wanted to use, of course, that article doesn't come up right now. But so one, let's think, I saw one earlier. It was, would you rather? So mad.
Oh, sure. It's all good.
Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year off your life?
I think I'd rather lose a year off my life.
Me too. But what if they said, okay, it's this year?
Oh, that's true. Like it depends on what year it is.
Let's say it's the last year.
Yeah. And there could be some experiences in jail. Like I could study while I'm there. I could get some writing done, I guess. I don't know. But the food isn't good and it's all public bathrooms.
Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into your own future or 10 minutes into the future of anyone but yourself?
Oh, God. That would drive me crazy either way. Because if I was seeing into the future of anybody else, I would always want to go try to like help them. And that would cause a lot of stress. But if I was seeing into my future, I might always be paranoid about what I know is coming. I think I would rather see other people's because I would care less about them.
Right. Sometimes, you think you want to know like the future, but
Yeah.
oh, okay. This is a good one. This is the one I wanted to ask you the most.
Ooh.
Would you rather find true love today or win the lottery next year?
I would rather find true love today.
Oh,
I don't know. Because I feel like I'm going to be so successful, I won't need the lottery.
well, there we go.
Maybe I'm just overconfident, but. And honestly, I would rather find somebody that I click with before I'm too successful to where I don't want to have to doubt why they're with me.
I get that. That makes sense. All right. Would you rather be 11 inches tall or 11 feet tall or 9 inches tall?
Oh, gosh. Well, 11 feet tall or 9 inches tall. I think I would rather be 11 feet tall because 9 inches I could easily get stepped on.
I know.
I feel like it'd be safer to be tall.
And who would be able to have sex with you if you're only 9 inches tall?
They just use you like a
they would have to just go like that. That would be the best you could do. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Would you rather vomit on your hero or have your hero vomit on you?
Well, if I had to have something happen, I'd rather puke on them because I don't want that on me.
But just think how humiliating. Okay, I'll do one more and then we can do your
Okay.
Would you rather always have BO and not know it or always smell BO on everyone else?
Oh gosh. I think I would rather, oh no. I think I would rather not know it.
But then you'd be thinking all the time like, what's wrong with my personality? How come nobody wants
Yeah, it would
to hang out
definitely
with me?
undermine you. I don't know. It would take Own Your Awkward to the next level. That's for sure.
Hey, wait, would you rather find a rat in your kitchen or a roach in your bed?
Oh God. The roach is smaller, but it could be in there when you're sleeping and you wouldn't know it. Ugh,
Rat in the kitchen.
you think so?
Ugh. No, cockroaches are like one of my biggest fears. Like put
I
a
was-
cockroach on a bridge, I would become unglued.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I think I might go with the roach in the bedroom, but I don't know,
Ugh.
it'd be hard to sleep.
What if
Probably
you're just
the-
like laying there sleeping and then you roll over and there it is right next to you?
Oh God, yeah. I'd probably go with rat in the kitchen. Now, you know, the
I
more
mean, sometimes rats are around and it just happened to get in.
I've had rats around, you know, in different places I've lived in the past, and it's not a nice idea, but
Yeah.
yeah, the
Okay.
roach, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd be like covering my ears and
Oh, yeah, I know. Did they tell you when you were little about earwigs? That
Yeah.
they burrow into your,
is
yeah.
that true or is that fake?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's just something that they say to scare kids.
I've always hated those because of that.
I know. Especially because they have those weird little pincher things, you know?
Yeah, Cheri says she'd go for a rat.
Yeah, see, I agree. I agree. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
So-
my love, tell us about your adventure.
Oh my gosh, do I have a story for you? So every once in a while I do a little thing called online dating, you know, and I chat with people, and I have really realized that the last, couple months, I've really become more aware of the fact that I think I have overly looked for reasons to cross people off the list to be open to. And I think that's just out of protection for my own self, where I can, I've told the story. I don't know if I told it on here, but I said, I'm at the coffee shop and I see this really hot guy come in and sit down, and then I'm like, oh, I'm attracted to him, and then he opens up his laptop. I'm like, I can't date a guy that uses an Apple. And it's kind of in that moment where I'm like, that you might be stretching a little too far to say that this isn't someone that you would want to date. And so I've really been practicing being more open. So right before Thanksgiving, I started talking to this guy in Oregon, and we were hitting it off, and we talked on the phone a couple times, and we're texting and chatting and for about a week. And anyway, I'd sent some of the pictures, when I do the pictures where there's like two of me, they're from last summer.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a funny picture, check this out, here's this. And he had done some of the same stuff. Like, this is my puppy, 5 years ago when I just got him. So there's some pictures that are older, no big deal. But in part of the conversation, there was a, hey, I'm going to send you a pic, but I got to turn the light on to, get a better pic kind of thing. And apparently on my phone, when you save pictures that someone sends you, sometimes it takes the stamp that the picture was originally taken and saves it on your phone. So I had saved a couple of the pictures, and then they weren't there when I went to look at my album, because they were at the very bottom from like 6 months ago and 4 months ago and 2 years ago on one of them. And I thought that was weird. And there were a couple of the pictures that he sent me that I already thought were kind of like, this, it's weird how much your beard grew overnight, like that seems odd, like right now. And that didn't bother me so much if you're just sending like, here's a good picture of me. Like, I'm not freaked out if every picture isn't right now. But the way the conversation went, where it's like, in the moment, and then yet the picture was actually from 4 months ago, and there were like 3 or 4 pictures like that, and at least a couple of them were supposed to have been recent. So the next day I was kind of quiet, and he's like, hey, you're quiet, what's up? And I just said, sorry, it's just hard for me to trust the situation when we haven't met in person yet. And then for some reason, one of the pictures you sent me saved like it was really old on my phone, and that just kind of undermined how I feel, or undermined my feelings right now. And that was all I said. And he replied, what picture? So I sent a screenshot showing, and there were 4 pictures with the way it saved on my phone with the date stamps. And within 3 minutes, I got a series of texts, one after the other. I never claimed that all my pictures were recent. You sent me old pictures too, and I can't believe your approach. And maybe you should an online date. And sorry, it's not all about you. And I counted, there were 12 negative, attacking kind of comments within that 3-minute burst. And then he tried to call me, And I didn't answer because I already saw what I needed to see of his personality. And then he just sent another text that just said, wow, because I didn't answer. And then went on about, you know, I think you're the problem. And there was just so much. And it really opened up for me. Like, my concern wasn't, oh my God, you sent me an old picture. I was like, this is weird. I'm just kind of feels funny. And then, but the reaction cemented that this is nobody that I want to be around. And it was just, it's interesting because I actually, you know, I had a little disappointment because I felt like I was really connecting with this person from the brief interactions.
Mhm.
But I was also so thankful for the bad experiences I've had in the past that taught me to walk away from this immediately. And I never responded to any of the texts. I never, like, I'm not engaging. I don't have to explain this to you. I've not even met you. So I don't.
Right. So let me just say, I know you're telling the story as if I didn't know this, but I mean, you're telling it to the audience.
Right.
I saw the text and it was like way overreaction. And it was very snotty, snippy, and rude. And I don't know if I want to say mean, but it was to me like someone desperately trying to point fingers at you, like the type of person that if you just say one thing to them, then they just start slinging everything right at, you know. It was like, geez, dude, you know, it wasn't that big of a fucking deal.
Right. Yeah. And it was, and that was the thing, was like, when it first happened, I was like, well, I'm not saying I'm done. This just made me slow down a little. And then that's what made it done.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is, I've been in a relationship that had that characteristics where someone says, you know, tell me how you feel about something. And then as soon as you say how you feel, you're attacked for feeling that way. But even beyond just for feeling that way, then they're mad at you for a long time, like sometimes not talking for several days or having consequences for weeks later because you shouldn't have had the right to feel that way. And that's not a healthy situation. And so for me, this was a big step for me to be like, you know what, this feels good to not bring that into my life anymore. And there's some sadness that I used to allow myself to be treated that way when I see how hardcore it was. But I think that we all need to be able to see those situations. And the one challenge for me now is to not let that hindering me from still being open to going down the road and exploring with somebody else. Like, because, you know, you have that, oh, this is too good to be true, I don't trust it.
Mm-hmm.
And prove you that it was too good to be true. And so now you go into the next relationship thinking, or next conversation even thinking, okay, well, what's it going to be?
Right. But I mean, to me, it also shows that you need to really, like, this is how I would approach it. Like if I was online dating, which God, I'd want to see them in person as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I've watched so many Catfish and the 90-Day Fiance and all that kind of bullshit. It's like, let's just get that part over with.
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, it's like, just know that the real person never comes out right away.
Right.
You know, I mean, so you gotta like
And
pace yourself and just wait. And you know,
yeah.
Hopefully you're waiting for something good to come out. But
well, and like you said, like you have to pace it, and that's what it comes down to, because this same scenario could have happened whether it was online dating or someone I met in person, as far as like something triggering somebody.
right.
You don't run into those scenarios until you have had enough experiences with someone that something triggers it. So you can't put all your eggs into that basket. And it doesn't mean that you can't, you know, be together and like only date that person. Like, I'm not saying, oh, don't be exclusive or anything. I'm just saying, don't like sell your house and move in together 3 months in. You know, keep your boundaries and space while you allow that relationship to develop, so that you can have those things come out.
Right. Well, and it could have happened, like, you know, Cheri was saying, well, good, you hadn't met him yet, but like, what if he had been able to control himself and you had met him, and then but you confront, 2 months down the line when you're really already in love with him, confront him on something, and then he loses his shit. Like, better now than later.
Yeah, because the more invested you are in a relationship, it's harder to get out of it, because you feel like, well, there was all this stuff and there's this one thing, so I shouldn't give all this up because of that one thing. And so it is, I was very thankful that I saw it sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my drama for the week. It was just it was one of those things where I was watching it unfold, and I was telling someone this story yesterday, and she said, well, what did you say back to him? And I was like, nothing. Like there is nothing between the screenshot of what I saw and,
Mm-hmm.
and every, like, I never did that. And the end of that too, as far as I know, till he watches this, but the end of that was like, 6 hours later, you get the, hey, I didn't know, hard feelings. I was just taken aback by this. It's like, I'm not here to.
Did he do that?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 hours later, there was a text that was like, no hard feelings, but then it still came through with, but your approach wasn't right,
Right.
And I'm like, well, I'm not here to make you feel better about your overreaction, and that's a game that I'm not going to play with you. And also, I spent the last 5 years after my marriage and coming out and divorce and all that stuff, doing a lot of work on myself, and I'm not going to waste that on somebody who isn't doing that same work on themselves.
Right.
So, anyway, that's.
Well, it's funny because like when you were starting to talk to him and stuff, I told you, I was like, oh, Andy's gonna get a boyfriend. He's not gonna pay any attention to me for a while. But I will say that there was no on my part like, oh yes, this guy. I didn't feel that at all, because I know that feeling of the disappointment of like you're liking somebody and then they turn out to be a man. So.
And I have to say, just in the course of activities that I go to and being out on town and stuff, the last like 2 weeks, I've met like 4 or 5 great guys who I don't even know if they're gay, but I've had a connection, and I may see 1 or 2 of them again, like who knows, and maybe I'll find out if there's a connection that leads into anything, or maybe we'll just be friends, or maybe I'll never see him again. But there's that reminder that there are people in the world that you'll continue to encounter, and you just gotta be open to possibilities. So.
All right. So, hey, is next week our holiday?
No, it would be a week later. Are you available next week? Because that's going to be the 16th, I guess. So that's before you leave.
Oh, okay. So the 16th and then the 23rd. I have a show on the 23rd, but not at 4 in the afternoon. So, all right, we'll be good.
Cool.
Ho, ho, ho. Well, we'll do that. We'll plan something for that.
Ho, ho, ho.
All right. We could be hoes.
I saw an ugly Christmas sweater.
I already are. Oh, I have one on the way to my house, actually.
Well, this had Santa's face on it, and it said, ask your mom if I'm real. And I thought if I wore that would just be funny on multiple levels.
That's cute. All right. Well, Andy, great show today. It flew by.
It did. It was awesome. It was fun.
I have company waiting outside my house for me to be done. So
okay, well,
I'm gonna come let you in, Cheri. So all right, I will talk to you later. Bye. Bye, everybody. Forrest Gump.